Some people claim that the atrocities we commit in our fiction are those inner desires which we cannot commit in our controlled civilization. So they are expressed instead through our art. I don't agree. I believe heaven and hell are one and the same. The soul belongs to heaven and the body to hell.
Welcome back to the Blasphemous Cinema Podcast. I'm your host, Jake, and with me today is, of course, my trustworthy co-host, Addison. How are you doing today, Addison?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. We are here to discuss your pick, 1960s Jigoku, a legendary J-horror film directed by Nobu Nakagawa, and basically Jigoku translates to hell, but it's also titled The Sinners of Hell. And basically, we kind of follow this main character and a couple of other side characters that are interwoven pathwise with each other's lives, and basically showing their sins and what happens to them for their sins in afterlife. And that's Jigoku. I think we were both pretty excited for this one.
I was very excited. Yeah. I don't know if it carried over to the viewing, though. It became like a Coen's comedy of errors for I guess it's what, 60 minutes of it? It feels like kind of like a Coen's-esque, just error after error just keeps happening. And then you actually get to the part that I guess people consider as the disturbing part.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like the last 30 minutes.
Yeah. It's funny, I was reading up on it, and there's also, before the movie was made, it was initially supposed to be titled Heaven and Hell. And one of the producers read the script and there's no heaven in this.
Yeah, where's the heaven?
Oh, dude, where's heaven? I thought that was awesome. I needed to make sure that I touched on that. That was I loved that.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, and so we were both very excited going into this. It's about an hour 40. The description for the movie is very vague, but I didn't expect kind of the story beats we got,
I didn't either.
For the story. We're kind of just following our main character, whose name is Shiro, and he's a young student who, he's just in school. He's about to marry his future wife. Everything's kind of going good for him, and one night his friend Tamura, they're out in the town together. They're driving, and they hit a drunk person, and he dies because of it. And they speed off in hit and run style. And basically, the movie goes from there and gets you a bunch of different side characters, and you're kind of wrapped up in the lives of all their sins, essentially. And
you just keep getting introduced to more and more characters, and it just more and more stuff just keeps happening.
Yeah, and it's at the beginning, it starts off about as abstract as I thought the movie was gonna be, and it starts off with a lot of these hellish imagery and editing and all this stuff related to hell. And you see a main character at a river in the limbo of hell, and I was okay, this is definitely what I expected. That stops.
Yeah.
And then there's another hour where it's essentially mostly just all of these characters and them in their lives and the sins that they're perpetrating. Then we go back to hell.
I feel like the opening 5 minutes is like a studio exec note. It feels like a bumper, you know what I mean, where they put on trailers where it's show like the really cool part of the trailer, a trailer for the trailer before it happens. And then this movie opens up and it's like, we'll show you like little clips of the hell imagery for like 60 seconds. And then we're just going to get into this whole snail-paced soap opera.
We're not going to get to the interest stuff until much later down the line.
Yeah, like the last 30 minutes. Like,
I'm already feeling way worse about this movie.
Like it literally feels like they screened it for an executive and he was just like, can you like put some stuff
at the beginning
at the beginning just to make people feel like they need to stay? I feel like we're losing them.
Because we're just following people and like, oh yeah, there's some conflict in the plot. And
it literally feels like a soap opera, like the actual narrative of it before you get to the hell. And then
the acting definitely is soap opera-ish at points too.
The acting is spotty, but my thing is like the actual narrative points that this movie goes through, they kind of baffle me a little bit. Mm-hmm. Like the whole idea that the his friend is the one who hit the guy.
Yeah.
But then he blames it on him for telling him to go down the side road, even though he's
like, you're at fault. You told me to go down this road.
And he was the one driving the car. And then the whole rest of the movie, it kind of baffles me that it's like he gets punished for wanting to go turn himself in. Like the way the story plays out, because he tells his future wife, who we find out is also pregnant, to get into a taxi because he has to go to the police station, turn himself in, and tell them what happened. And then the wife is just like, well, I just wanted to walk, but I'm just going to tell the taxi driver to drive slow. And he's driving slow, and he hits, a non-existent puddle. And he hydroplanes, apparently, into a tree, and then somehow they just die, except for him. And I was just like,
there's nothing from this crash that indicates, like, how she could have died. Like, really, realistically, like, okay, I could guess maybe the driver, because he's in the front and he hits the pole. But
I mean, it's baffling. Like, if they had flipped the car or something, I would have been like, maybe. But I mean, just them just running into that tree and it's like a little fender bender. I was like, she's dead? And then for the rest of the movie, it's kind of just like that same thing where it feels like everything is on this dude. And then you find out in the end that his friend that hit the guy to begin with is a demon.
Yeah,
he sold his soul to the devil.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, hold on now. So you're telling me this guy is getting punished because he was with a guy who sold his soul to the devil? Like, narratively speaking, the conflict isn't even about the protagonist.
No, and it's like also too, it's weird the way that like the friend is like kind of involved in this story, whereas like it makes sense in the way that, all right, he's like basically a person who is like assisting hell essentially, and like he pops in and out of places when he's not supposed to be there. That makes sense. But then there's points where like he's very much like a part of the actual world and the people around, and that's where I was like, I feel like it's just teetering on a line where it's like it didn't really understand which direction it really wanted to go for.
That's what I'm saying. The logic of it doesn't make sense. And I'm sorry to the listeners because this is going to sound jumbled, but the fact that like this dude was basically the cause of it all. And then there's also the part in the bridge where he dies.
Yeah.
But then he keeps coming back and he's not actually dead. And it's like, okay, so is he alive or is he dead? And I feel like the whole idea of if you're going to have like a herald or something like that, the devil would, and he's supposed to be tempting people, he can't be the one to commit the act. Yeah. The whole point in the sinner thing is that you're supposed to tempt them to sin. But the whole movie starts from that guy committing the act.
Sin. And he never wants to sin. The main character never wants to.
That's what I'm saying. It makes absolutely no sense. It would be like if a Scorsese movie was like punishing one of the lead characters for being like, I don't want to be involved with this the whole time, and he's never involved with it, and then you just have the other characters at all times just doing bad shit. It's like, no,
Yeah.
they're involved. Like, that's the whole
Yeah.
point in it, is that they have to be involved and they have to be tempted to do something. And he literally does nothing. Like, he's
Yeah.
basically a victim of circumstance until he gets, I guess, like, halfway through the movie and runs away to the village where his parents
Yeah.
live.
And I would say there is like I feel like there's only one instance truly where he kind of like almost puts him in the way of committing sin when he basically the world itself introduces what ends up being his sister is a
Yeah,
spitting image of his dead wife. He has no understanding of one, like he just shows up to this village where his mother is dying of cancer, and there's this woman, and I'm like, initially I'm like, oh, is this a flashback? Did we just like go through a flashback? No, it's this person who literally looks exactly like his dead wife, and obviously he's attracted to her and he has feels a connection to her because it's his dead wife, and it gets almost to the point of, you know, because of that, like he's like, you know, sexually attracted to her and everything. But then you find out it's really his sister.
that was the reveal I was talking about where it just baffled me. I was like, wait, that's the big reveal that you're going to tell me right now? That his, like, future fiance is a spitting image of his lost half, like, sister or something like that?
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about right now? What is even the point in that being in the narrative?
I don't that's exactly what I was going to next. Is I don't if we're talking about this right now, it's like I don't feel like that necessarily needs to happen.
I mean, I guess it's the soap opera point of it. It's like, is that
Yeah.
you just trying to get my jaw to drop, I guess?
Yeah, very bewildering. Back on
Which, I mean, basically we go from, they're in school. He's engaged to the professor's daughter.
Yeah, we
Friend?
find out that the professor is his future father-in-law.
Yes, and then friend of his, who turns out to be the herald of Satan for some reason, is obsessed with the professor because the professor stole water from someone in the war and they died. And so the professor is hiding a sin, which for some reason the dude knows about. I mean, I don't know how he knows about it. And so then they leave that house after he confronts the professor about it. He hits somebody on the road. And then he wants to go to the police. On his way to the police, they crash. Future wife dies. He runs away to home village.
Yeah,
And then his mother is dying of cancer. And
his father is cheating on her in the next room.
but the woman that he's cheating on her with has a crush on the son
Yep,
for some reason.
yep,
And then you get twin fiance who's actually half sister
yep.
shows up.
Then you have a prostitute and her owner who is related to the person that they killed that night of
The hit and run
the hit and run, also chasing after him.
because she saw the license plate, but she lied to the cops and said she didn't see anything.
Yep.
That does this not sound like a Coen's brother like comedy of errors?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like every turn there's someone doing some stupid decision or something almost nihilistic happens, like death-wise, where someone just dies and you're just like, that's really the death?
Yeah.
Like, the only deaths that I felt gratified for, or I guess gratified with, was actually like the final ones, the final set piece,
Yeah.
where they're having this 10th anniversary party in the village, and
Oh my god. Dude.
the son is like scared for his life. Well, I guess not really scared, but he's horrified because he kills the daughter of the woman that's hunting him because of the hit and run on a bridge by accident because she falls off the bridge to her death. And then the friend who is the devil's herald just shows up on the bridge, tries to kill him with a gun, and then he ends up shooting him, and then he falls off the bridge.
And
And
that's like where
then
it's like that doesn't necessarily like I don't yeah.
like that's what it's baffling. I don't. And then he goes to the village. They're having the 10th anniversary celebration. Everyone's drunk. He's hiding in a barn. The woman that is cheating with his father comes in there, talks about how she's always loved him. She's been in love with him for the first time she saw him for some reason, which I'm guessing he would have to be pretty young the first time that she saw him or something. I don't know, because it seems like it's a long connection and he's been in Tokyo for a while. And then the father comes in and finds them, and he tries
Then
to
he
kill
tries
the mistress, and then she
and
does
then
die.
she does. Yeah, she does die by falling down the stairs.
And then they're all drunk in a house, and the old lady who was hunting them comes in there with poison sake, and is just like, here, everyone drink. And she drinks it too. We're all going to die together. And they don't know that it's poison, but she's joking with them because they're like, is it poisoned? And she's like, I'll drink it
No,
first
I'll
to
drink it
make you.
too.
And I'm like, okay, so they're going to do a mass suicide. And then in the middle of the mass suicide, the Devil's Herald dude just magically appears again with the gun and shoots the half-sister. He shoots the half-sister while everyone else is dying from sake poisoning. And I was just like, what the fuck is happening in this movie? And they all die. And he, like what? He is strangling the Devil's Herald while the older woman is strangling him.
Mm-hmm.
And then they all go to hell.
Yep.
And we still have 30 minutes left.
Yep. Thank you for just.
I mean, I felt like Charlie Day on that fucking It's Always Sunny meme with like the spider web behind me with a cigarette and the coffee. Like, this is what happened.
Yeah.
This movie, you have to map this shit out and now we're finally at the part that I guess qualifies as disturbing cinema.
Yeah, I mean, let's go back a little bit. I have some notes from earlier.
I might have skipped over something.
You're good. There's just some notes I wanted to touch on. Back to the opening of the movie. Sick ass title card reveal.
I do like the opening title sequence. I will give them that.
I was like, okay.
And the cinematography of the whole movie, I will say,
is very good.
It looks good.
Yeah,
it does look good.
Yeah, then we get like an opening credit sequence of just like, yeah, you got the opening credits and also women that are practically nude posing type shit. So there's been so cinematography wise and lighting wise, I think are the film's biggest strong suits.
The lighting's interesting.
I thought the lighting was unbelievable. There's so many instances where I think that the lighting is used masterfully for the style that's going for, and there was just so many shots. I was like, "Oh, that's fucking sick."
I like how it plays with like darkness. Like it'll make whole frames almost entirely dark, and you'll just have one.
Or just like basically one face come into the.
Yes.
And everything.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. Like there's a hallway sequence of basically there's a lot of darkness, but it's insinuated, if I'm using the correct word, by basically like the door frames of like multiple entryways, and only those are highlighted, and the colors of people's clothing, and looks unbelievable. I will say too, the use of color I think is great.
Oh yeah.
I don't know necessarily the title for like this effect, but like, did you kind of notice how like a lot of the colors, especially like white, was like kind of like blown out in a way where it radiates from them?
I think that was the effect of overexposure, because I mean I'm sure it was shot on film. It was in 1960, but I mean I think since they were using such direct lighting and they were using such harsh lighting with high contrast, I think they would dim the light so low and then shoot it with such high exposure that it would blast out the whites, so the darks could be even blacker.
Yes.
So I think it's literally just fully pushing the contrast and the
Yeah.
exposure on those cameras to max.
Yeah. I wanted to make sure I didn't get the correct terminology. Didn't use incorrect terminology for that.
It's
So
like
yeah.
extreme emulation almost.
Yeah. And it's pretty much used like that way throughout the entirety of the film. And I do feel like that goes in hand with what the film is kind of going for narratively and stylistically in terms of soap opera ish in a way, because some soap operas definitely look like that.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, in terms of lighting, cinematography, awesome. There's a My favorite shot in the entire film is when she's like walking out to the courtyard and it's like the lawn of umbrellas
Mm-hmm.
that are like all like orange. Then you have in the background where there's shadows behind the doors and you kind of see her standing on the sidewalk and it's just beautiful shot. I was like, holy shit, that's unbelievably incredible. um yeah
Yeah, I mean the whole movie looks good, honestly. I
yeah
just wish the story could have. They need a script doctor.
yeah, there was one line where I was like, as I'm like taking my notes, there's one line where the so this is after the fiance dies and the professor tells um his what would be son-in-law, um, everything hinges on fate. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, good line. Frankly, it just didn't. I mean, it does end up coming to fruition, but it's just surrounded by so much dumb shit.
Yeah, I mean it's a great line, but it's like how much of the movie actually portrays that line. I mean, I think the one of the final images does it really well.
Mm-hmm.
But
Oh
other than
yeah,
that, like most of it is really not fate based, in my opinion. Most
no,
of it,
yeah,
most of it doesn't seem that way at all. I mean, it's mostly just kind of nihilistic, or to the point where it's just kind of just like, I guess, just coincidence. I don't even know what you would call it. It doesn't seem like fate based though, until
no,
you really get to the final hell portion.
yeah. Like I don't think it's fate. Like I don't necessarily. It doesn't seem like it's fate that she dies in that car crash. It seems like it was karma for his sin, quote unquote. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which again, it just logically it doesn't make sense to me why he would be getting karma for his sin when he's trying to turn himself in.
Hmm.
Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. If he's going to turn himself in, how are you giving him karma?
Yeah,
Especially when he's not even the one who did it.
yeah. I mean, so narratively, the film is touching on like a lot of real philosophies from like Buddhism, religion, and stuff like that in terms of its depictions of hell, and it just like its principles, religious principles overall. Um, the main one being kind of like that everyone atones for their sins in the afterlife.
Hmm.
Again, it's just a combating thing where it's like his wife dies. It seems like that's because of his quote unquote sin, and that completely goes against that. In a way, it doesn't, they didn't film it to feel like that was fate.
Hmm.
It feels like that was just instant karma rather than it being fate. It would have been much more believable if like the car flipped over, like you were saying, and like a truly believable death rather than what we got.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of one of those things where I guess it just depends on how you read the movie, or I guess what you kind of consider to be, I guess, fateful kind of storytelling. Because I mean, if I was like to write it, I would make it to where if it's supposed to be a fate-based thing, I would make it to where he's trying to get into like a cab, like a taxi cab, to run away instead of turning himself in, and he's trying to rush the taxi driver. And then as they're leaving to flee, he would run over his future wife.
Mm-hmm.
Then all of a sudden, it's like Oh, that feels a little more fate-based, where it's like
Yeah.
you have now done the same thing again because you were going against what you were originally supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like I would feel like that would be more fate-based. But again, who am I? I don't know.
Um. So b- that essentially the one portion of the film where we go to this festival, the 10-year celebration. One of honestly one of the best hard cuts in the entire movie is that um, this hilarious, basically this line of the woman saying, "All you care about is the festival," and then it literally hard cuts to the festival and festival music. I died laughing. I was like, "Holy shit, that was so fucking funny!" I was like, "All right, they knew what they were doing with that. That was great."
He was playing with it.
Yeah.
He was having fun.
So I guess let's just on it. Yeah. I mean, Addison already broke essentially the what the quote unquote el- evolution of what the plot goes. I'm trying to think if there's anything of like other note. Yeah, I mean, when he shows up to check on his um, mom who's dying of cancer, yeah, his father's a complete piece of shit, and literally in the next room he's cheating on her with a younger woman. Um, there's this painter who is moved in also next door, whose daughter, which doesn't end up turning out to be his daughter, is the lookalike of his dead wife. And it also is that apparently the painter is actually the father of the main character because he's the father of the lookalike and what you would expect to be the real father. Um, basically, both had relationships with the main character's mother and got basically twisted around their whole who ended up being whose parents. So he thought his father and mother were his parents when they weren't. It was actually the other father, and vice versa. Um, so yeah,
Is this how it feels to like
that's also a
talk
part of
about
the movie.
reality TV shows or something?
It feels like
Like
it.
I feel like this is how it feels to like try and talk about a soap opera reality
The,
TV show
the
with someone.
the
It's like,
more
can you
that I
believe
talk,
so and so
the
did
more I
this with
talk
this
about it, the
person?
more I realize how awful this like the idea of this narrative is.
It
Like
was
it,
this is what frustrated me so much was the narrative. Just how much convolution they were able to fit into 90 minutes before we even get to what the title of the movie is.
yeah.
You could have
Um,
easily cut out so many subplots in this movie
or
and
just make
streamlined
a
this
better
thing.
narrative. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just make a better narrative
exactly.
overall. And yeah. Um, so let's talk about this final 30 minutes. I would like to say I don't think there's anything that can like truly kind of prepare you for what you're about to get with this final 30 minutes of the film. Um, before we get into details on that, this entire time I'm being constantly reminded about a book that I recently just read called The Seven Moons of Malia Maida. And it's like there's a lot of sequences in that book that are very similar to what's happening in this movie. Basically, it's like it's deriving the same, it's talking about the same religious principles and the the ideas of hell that this movie is as well. So you get a lot of like the same river sequences, um, interacting with people in limbo and stuff like that. Very similar. So I thought that was just interesting to know.
It's
Um,
cool.
yeah. So one of the best shots, in my opinion, of this movie. It sucks because it's tied to a bad narrative device about the whole water thing, about the guy
Mm-hmm.
going for the last drop of water. But I love the shot of him crawling towards this last bit of water and it's just multiple people like surrounding the water. And you get this really awesome overhead shot of them all like converging on this small puddle of water. Looks great.
Yeah, they're all like trying to crawl to it,
Yeah.
and then the water evaporates out of it.
Hmm.
Feels very Dante's Inferno-esque,
Oh yeah, big time.
where you're constantly just getting like it's a continuous loop
Yeah. Um,
that you can't escape, basically.
then you get the river of pus and waste.
Yeah, that
Dude,
was wild.
um, so basically you get introduced to like some of like the basic the people who run hell, and he's describing this river, and it's basically all of their pus and waste from themselves. So he's like, go free and drink ahead. It's all this is what it is. And just like, even though it looks like basically just like a really white, bubbly, chunky, almost white river,
Looks like a
now
hot
that
tub.
yeah, now that you understand what like it's supposed to be, it gets pretty. It's like, oh god, that's pretty fucking nasty. As all these people are like, all these souls in hell are all going into this river, and he's just like cheering them on to, not cheering them on, but like egging them on to like, yeah, go ahead and drink it. It's your pus and waste. Yeah,
That's good stuff. And then you get the Lake of Blood also.
yeah, the Lake of Blood, which also looks like, I love the way that one that looks, but like also too, they do a great job in terms of like costuming and makeup when the people get out of it and such. I
Hmm.
like that. Um, so
Which I guess we forgot to mention that the future wife who dies was pregnant,
well,
and
yeah,
so
I
the
was
whole
gonna, yeah,
time,
yeah.
whole time he's in hell, he's like chasing after his baby, his
So
unborn child.
in the very beginning, there is like a baby cry, like, and you
Hmm.
understand that. So then he brings it up again, and you understand. Oh, um, the baby that was crying at the beginning of the movie was actually his dead to be to be daughter, who is in limbo on these rivers in hell. There's also like a great little sequence of like a rock barren land with stones, and
Hmm.
all the stones, these little small structures of stones, pillars essentially, are representative of um, parents who lost their children before
Yeah,
they
the
died.
child died before the parents died.
Yes. And so you get like these basically children um, building these stones, like fading in and out. Very effective, in my opinion. I really liked that. Um,
Yeah, it was a cool shot.
yeah. And you get some cool shots too. And then with the baby, as he's like kind of technically chasing it through hell on like the river and stuff, like in different, the Lake of Blood, regular river, and also in like the white pus shit as well. um, but essentially, we get to, in this part, we get like the disturbing cinema part, and that's all these characters that we've spent time with throughout the entirety of the movie are now finally atoning for their sins. And basically, we have the person who's kind of running this whole thing basically telling, hey, this is what you did, this is the punishment you get. Um, so you just see people go through these torture methods, and pretty cool, pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean
I really
it
like
is
this.
interesting to see that part when it actually finally happens because you have the doctor, he gets like sawed in half,
Oh, dude,
which is
I love that you are sentenced to be sawed into pieces,
yeah,
and dude, as he's getting sawed, it's so good. It's so
and you get
fucking
the
good.
cop who gets his hands cut off because he did not arrest the proper people,
Hmm.
and then you have
The person
the dude
who,
who gets flayed,
yeah,
which is
but he
wild.
got sentenced to all of Well, no, not him. But yeah, he gets sentenced to be flayed, and basically all you see is basically like his bones and guts, besides his head, essentially.
Yeah.
The rest of his body is bones and guts on the floor. It looks gnarly. The prosthetics are fantastic. It looks gnarly as hell.
And you get to see the woman's head get detached from her body. They pull her body off of her
Yeah,
head.
yeah,
And then I mean, I know the dude who sold his soul, he was the final like judgment. They tell him he has to suffer all 8 fires of hell
yep,
for selling his soul.
yep. Which is like I liked that as like a cheeky we got you, like you weren't supposed to sell your soul, but that's like the
Yeah.
greatest sin of all, and guess what, you're gonna get fucked for it too, you motherfucker. Type thing. um there's a one line, I think I can't remember exactly, was it for Tamura, um the Herald, when the guy is like speaking to him as he's being sentenced, is like, your sins outnumbered the stones on the riverbank or whatever.
Yeah.
Unbelievable line. I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit, that's incredible.
See, that this movie has some great lines, but then it also has some horrible ones too. Like the dude who looks directly at the camera and just says, "I'm in hell." It's like, no shit, buddy. Like we're watching a movie called Hell.
I forgot about that. I totally forgot
And
that
it
happened.
it reminded me of the movie A Cult.
Oh
Like
yeah,
there's literally a scene in that movie where the person's like head is like spinning and he's just like, "I'm in hell." It's like I hate it when movies do
uh,
that. It's like it's that kind of thing that people complain about all the time with the like, thanks for explaining to the audience exactly what we already know. Like I
yeah,
don't know if it's supposed to be ironic or what, but it's one of those things that absolutely pisses me off.
yeah. Um, and so essentially, the main character kind of catches up to his baby, and you realize what is in store for him for practically what would be the rest of eternity. Right? Am I
I
reading
mean,
that correctly?
I guess it depends on the fate thing. Like, are you talking about the spinning wheel?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I was thinking that too.
Basically, the baby's attached to a spinning wheel, and he gets on the spinning wheel, and that's like kind of like the final shot of him just like trying to get to the baby as
Yeah,
it's
like it
spinning.
freeze frames.
Yeah.
And it's kind of one of those things where I don't know if it's supposed to be like pushing the rock up the hill thing and
I
it keeps
think that's
falling
what
back down.
I think that's what it's supposed to be.
Yes. Like I was getting that vibe, but then I was also like, I don't know if it's supposed to be like a fate thing also where it's like if he can reach the baby, is he free? Because they kept talking about that throughout the whole final part was like if you reach the baby, you can escape hell. So that was one of those things where I don't know if they're just telling him that as a part of his like torture punishment,
Uh,
where it's like he is doomed to feel like he has hope to escape for all eternity, which
which
would be
that'd be
even
pretty
worse
cool.
than
That'd be
actually
pretty, that'd
having.
be I would love that. I think that could
So
be good. Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things where I guess you don't really know because they did the freeze frame thing and they stopped it, and of course
Hmm.
that whole wheel thing happens right after his mom just comes up to him in hell and is just like, "Wait, that's your sister." It's like, huh? Because the
Yeah.
whole reveal happens in such a ridiculous way. How the half sister looks just like the fiance, and he keeps talking back and forth between them. Because what they just leave the spike area of hell,
Yeah.
where it's constantly just stabbing through you, and the herald of the devil was like, "Do it, go ahead and kiss her,"
Yeah.
and he's trying to get him to kiss her, and it's like, what is going on here? And then
That's the only point where he's like actually like trying to get him to commit a sin.
yeah, like that's the only tempting that he does, but he's already in hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the mom just comes out of nowhere and is just like, "That's your sister." And then the dad who was the drunken painter, who's actually the real dad, and then the dad who he thought was his dad but not really his dad, they all come in at the same time, and he's just like, "I wouldn't have been a drunkard if I knew that." It's like, you're telling me you were only drinking because you didn't know you had a kid? That makes no sense. How can you blame something that you had no idea about?
Yeah.
Like that would have no impact on you because you didn't know it existed. It made no sense to me, that whole scene. But that
Yeah.
was the reveal that I guess I was that by the end of it I was just like, oh brother.
Yeah, I mean it's very interesting where it's like I felt like I left this movie more like I was favorable, but not like head over heels. Now I'm just I have a much larger disdain for how this movie ended up going.
I mean, this is
Like,
what disappointed me so much because I don't like being extremely nitpicky,
uh-huh.
especially on narrative beats, because I feel like that's usually very much a cop out for movies. When someone will come up to you and be like, "That movie was bad because this character did this. I didn't like the decision they made." Because a lot of times, characters are meant to be very complicated
Yes, yeah.
individuals who might not make the same decisions that you instinctually might
Would.
make in your
Yeah.
real life. But sometimes the movies happen because of those decisions. But this is one of those movies where the decisions made genuinely felt baffling, not by the characters, but by a narrative and logistical standpoint, from like a writer's standpoint.
Yeah.
Where it's like I don't understand why you would write it this way.
Hmm.
And that just I hate being a nitpicky person like that. But sometimes I'm just like, what
But
is going
sometimes the
on?
movie does it to you. Sometimes the movie does it to you.
I
Um,
know.
I was like, it was funny going into this podcast. I'm like 3.5. I was like, because I feel like production design, a lot of the technical elements I really respected, and I really liked the last 30 minutes. Um, Now I'm seeing it like I think just a 3. Like I respect the give the technical elements its flowers, and I'll respect the last 30 minutes. But that's about it.
Yeah, I mean I respect the craft. The movie is on a technical level well made. It's just unfortunate that the creative narrative aspect of the movie was not so much.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like it's really hard to recommend this movie where it's like I think like you could probably just show someone like the last 30 minutes and get the job
Yes.
done.
No, literally I thought the exact same thing when the movie ended. I was like, you could cut out everything and just have the last 30 minutes be a standalone like short film. And I think
About just
people
like
would be
people, yeah, being
well, even
transported.
him just like
You
trying
can
to find
even
his kid and
Yeah,
stuff
but
like
like
that. Like,
also too, like you can have these people transported into hell and not necessarily know who they are, but know the sins that they committed, and basically this is the torture method that they're gonna get for the sin they committed, even though you don't have necessarily context of what actually happened or the
yeah.
situations.
I mean, you could literally have shown it like Predator style, how all these people get just transported to the planet randomly. It could
Yeah,
literally be like that, where you just see each person die
yeah,
in like a sequential order, and then all of a sudden you see them all in hell, and then that's the
hmm,
movie, and you watch all this in hell, and then it ends, and it's like that could literally have been the whole film.
yeah,
The whole
um,
narrative buildup was not necessary, in my
yeah.
opinion.
So it's like if someone was to be like, "Should I watch this movie?" I'd be like, "You watch the last 30 minutes, you'll be good."
I tell him to go watch Quiden.
And I still haven't seen that, but I feel like that would probably be the better answer.
And that movie is also a snail's pace like slow burn movie, and it's also I think as long as Oppenheimer.
Yeah, I think it's
But
longer.
that's the crazy.
I think it's
I mean,
longer.
that's the crazy thing though. I would rather recommend that than
Yeah.
this because I would be like, I feel like you could actually maybe get something out of that.
Hmm.
This I don't know. I genuinely don't know if you would get anything out of Jigoku.
It's very interesting too. It's like I've known about this movie since I don't know 2018, 2019, and just being like a regarded like one of the best J horror cult classics you can get. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And in terms of that, what a letdown.
I agree,
Um,
and I picked it.
Hey man, we all have we've had many examples of us re- picking some duds on this podcast. Um,
We make mistakes.
I mean Onibaba, like so much better than this.
I mean,
And
I still need to watch that too.
well, it's interesting because Onibaba doesn't necessarily. It's not like doesn't have a ton of horror, like like definition horror until like the end, and that's more of a horror film than, in my opinion, this is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jigoku, it was alright. 3 stars. From
You know it's such a deflating experience when Jake is just like,
it's alright.
it's all right.
It's alright.
It's all right.
What would you give it?
Dude, I don't even know.
2?
Maybe like 2.5, possibly.
Yeah, I feel like yeah. I do want to. Talking about this sprung an idea in my head, just off the cusp. What are some of your favorite depictions of hell in movies?
I mean, the house that Jack built.
I was like, yeah, we were both gonna say the house that Jack built.
I
Textbook
love that.
definition, one of the best depictions of hell you could ever get in a movie, because narratively it works, and like also from a visual style, it's perfect.
Yes, I mean, I think that's one of the top tier ones. I do like. I kind of consider same year also. I kind of consider the ending of Guadagnino's Suspiria to be like a
Yeah,
vision of hell when it all goes red and everything at the end. I consider that a sequence. And trying to think of what other movies have depicted hell.
Yeah.
New Nightmare. In New Nightmare, the Freddy Krueger movie, that movie ends in hell, and I really like that one.
Mm-hmm.
The depiction of hell. Hellbound Hellraiser 2.
Yeah, I still haven't seen that, but I need to see that depiction.
Yeah, I liked Hellbound Hellraiser 2 is probably my favorite Hellraiser actually. And then New Nightmare is probably my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street, and of course that one goes to hell. So
would you say Event Horizon?
yeah, that's like cosmic hell for sure.
Cosmic hell, yeah.
I definitely would count that.
Does Antichrist? I can't remember.
That's like a mental. Wow. I guess you probably could, but it's more like a panic attack, anxiety, like mental state of hell.
Does Climax count? I haven't seen Climax, but does Climax fit the bill?
I would count Climax. It's like metaphorically going through all 9 circles of hell, watching Climax.
Mm-hmm.
I would count that.
Trying to think about what other. Mandy. Mandy has some
Mandy has some hell imagery.
Yeah.
It's more like animated though, like it's drawn, and I guess you could say stuff like the Ninth Gate and like Eyes Wide Shut are like hell adjacent.
Mm-hmm.
Like Eyes Wide Shut and the Ninth Gate both are kind of hell adjacent, I would say.
Ooh, Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks for sure has some hell adjacent stuff. I feel like I'm forgetting some because I know
I feel like I am too.
Like I know I've seen some movies that have hell in it.
The Descent, hell adjacent imagery.
Oh, for sure. Because The Descent
is like
the
kind
ninth,
of like yeah, it is.
I mean, the ninth circle of hell is treachery, and that movie ends with her finding out that her best friend betrayed her, and she like kills her. Like that is definitely hell adjacent for sure for The Descent. That's an all timer. I wish more people would watch The Descent because honestly, it's like pretty underrated.
I agree. As above, so below. As above, so below. Yeah.
Yes, that definitely. I would definitely consider that hell.
Constantine. Also. I haven't seen
Constantine. I mean,
in a long
they bring hell on earth, I guess.
Yeah. Have you seen Jacob's Ladder at all?
A long time ago.
I have not.
Angel Heart is another one that's hell adjacent with Robert De Niro. I don't know if you've seen Angel Heart. It's got Mickey Rourke before he fucked up his face.
Okay.
Like he's like it's kind of like a hell version of Chinatown.
Okay. Interesting. Is it good?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's
Okay.
really it's pretty disturbing, I guess, but it's good.
Um, Haxon.
Yeah, Haxon for sure. That's one of the classic OG silent films.
Ooh, let's bring in a little bit of stop motion here. Mad God.
Mad God is good. Teppet, yep, definitely a
Um,
good depiction of hell.
what Lucio Fulci movies have technically a depiction of hell?
Uh, the Beyond
Yes.
and City of the Living Dead.
Yep. Um,
I don't know. I feel like The
would you?
Apartment in Deep Red would be considered a hell depiction
Hmm.
with all that, those paintings, that artwork.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Would you say Begotten? That's hell adjacent, I would say.
yeah, hell adjacent. And I would say also like would Texas Chainsaw be hell adjacent when she's stuck, with the dinner scene?
Mm,
Or what about like Hills Have Eyes, the Nuketown situation? Would that be hell adjacent?
I don't think so, honestly. I mean, it's like hell in their eyes type of thing.
Yeah,
It's
like
like,
metaphorical hell.
yeah. I haven't seen it, so I can't necessarily say, but Drag Me to Hell.
I don't know if you ever actually see hell in the movie, but she does get dragged to hell.
Um,
So hell
Prince
adjacent,
Prince of Darkness has hell adjacent stuff,
for sure. I mean, you see it for like a split second in the Prince of Darkness, I
which
would
is
say.
awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, I mean that's an all time Carpenter movie that more people need to watch.
It was funny,
In the Mouth of
when
Madness too, I would say is kind of
oh
hell
yes,
adjacent.
very hell adjacent. I can't believe I totally blanked on that. But it was interesting when me, Luca, his girlfriend Livy, we went to do the all night drive in for John Carpenter movies. It was started off with The Thing. Second
Banger.
movie was I know there was four movies, so it was The Thing, Prince of Darkness, Assault on Precinct 13 was the final one. I'm
Hmm.
blanking on what the second slot was.
Was
Um,
it Escape from New York or?
no, I can't remember what it must have been Halloween. I think it was Halloween.
I mean,
Um,
they would have to show Halloween, right?
yeah. Um,
They Live.
I don't think it was in like that was the movie where it's like all right during the night I was like I had to take a little bit like I'm gonna take a nap. I'm gonna take 45 minutes. I've seen Prince of Darkness multiple times. I'll take a nap in my car while everyone else watches this one. And I got out around the end, and I was really excited for Luca and all of them to see Prince of Darkness for the first time, and I think they weren't fans of it.
Damn, I think
I
that
know
movie's good.
that movie rocks.
Yeah,
Like,
I think it's fun.
I think it's nailing on so many like scientific horror. You know what I mean?
It's like
And
kind of cosmic horror.
yeah, no, yeah, but it's like a more like scientific back like you're playing with a lot of science stuff like throughout the movie, and I think that's like a little bit it's very interesting. I
It
think
works really well.
yeah, I agree. Um of course, a banger fucking soundtrack.
Yeah,
The Prince of
always.
Darkness theme, unbelievable.
I mean, like most Carpenter movies have an amazing score, like the
Yeah,
Fog score and everything. They just go so hard.
yeah. Um, yeah, so we just kind of give you a nice little 10-minute little bit list of some depictions of hell if you want to dabble. But I think both of us would highly recommend, if you haven't, which you should have, um, watch House of Jack Built because that's one of the greatest movies of all time.
Yeah, I always tell people to watch The House that Jack Built. There's some wild stuff in that movie.
Yeah. Um, so that is Jigoku. Next episode, we do not know what the pick is yet, but I will be having on a guest, and the guest will be picking from our slot of movies. Um, so look forward to that. Um, as always, thank you guys for listening and primarily watching now.
Yeah, I think everyone went to YouTube.
Everyone went to YouTube. That's
I
fine.
think we have
That's
zero
fine.
listens now. Like anytime I look on Spotify, it's like, oh, no one listened to us.
When's the last time you
Alright,
checked?
like 2 weeks ago, maybe a week ago.
Do you remember? Let me see. If it logged me, I'm gonna be pissed. It didn't. Okay. We had 3 plays on the best of. Everyone was over on YouTube, which is like totally fine. Basically, we exchanged it. Everyone
With our friends at This Movies for You
yeah.
podcast,
Shout out to
which I think
Tyler.
is our highest. Yeah, shout out Tyler and
Shout out
Roman.
to
But
Tyler and Roman.
is that our highest viewed video now?
I'm not sure.
I think it is. We need
I'll
to
check.
we need
I'll
to
check
send
that
them
after
a
that.
we need to send them a pizza and a bottle of champagne and tell them thank you.
I mean, I also think like that would probably be their. I don't know. Um, I would like to know about what that episode ranks in terms of most listened for them. I'll ask that. But anyway, thank you for watching, for listening. We appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for being here as always. We will catch you guys next time. Peace.